Welcome to Hair Hero, the podcast where we dive deep into the minds of the best in the business to uncover what makes them tick and sometimes what makes them twitch. I'm your host, Ryan Whedon, founder of Masters of Balayage and creator of Masters Academy. Join me each week for impactful conversations with industry leaders, icons, influencers, and trendsetters. Get ready to be inspired, learn from the pros, and maybe even have a laugh or two. Because let's face it, if we can't have fun talking about hair, we're doing it wrong. Let's get started. Hey everybody, I'm excited here to pick the brain of the wonderful Aleck Zajac. She is, I don't even know what to call you. We still have to work on your title.
Yeah.
Like what you're in charge of education for Mob. You are everything to everybody on our team. You'd help with your personality. You see her all the time probably, or you hear her all the time. You maybe hear her, see her. Whether you're listening to this or watching this, that's what you're going to take from this. I haven't had enough coffee today, so it's obvious here as I'm trying to figure out my thoughts and put them all in order, but they're all scattered. Anyway, welcome, Aleck. This is great.
I'm glad to be here. I'm happy to be here.
Dressed up today. You got some magical shiny pants on.
They're so soft.
Probably
really
some Nikes, right? Mm-hmm. Are those the Nikes? That's all you have?
Yes.
Nikes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Mostly Nikes. I have a tiny little collection of Vans that I don't wear at all. I'm like, those are like my,
let's talk about
take the garbage out shoes.
Nike obsession that you have. Because every time we've ever traveled, the first thing she looks for is a Nike store where you can buy some new fancy pair of Nikes that most people wouldn't ever wear because they're just so off the wall, but you pull them off. But if I'm walking around those, they just wouldn't fit. We were in
Milan.
Italy, Milan, and we found a Nike store and you got some, right? You came home with some. How many pairs of Nikes do you have?
So I believe my collection, it's smaller now, but it did get to a point of around 300 sneakers.
300 pairs or
300
sneakers?
pairs.
300 pairs.
Yeah.
So 600 actual sneakers.
Yes, yep.
So you need like an extra closet,
Yeah, so it started to kind of like take over. I've always lived like more minimalistically because I move around a lot and stuff. So like I don't really have a nightstand. Like I have like sneaker boxes along the walls and everything. I did drop my collection down significantly. I got rid of a lot of shoes that I don't like. I thought they were cool, but I wouldn't really wear again, or like I wouldn't want to wear them. So I'm just keeping like the elite collection that I like. So I think around now I have maybe like 100, 150.
So what do you do with the ones that you don't wear anymore?
I resell them.
You resell them, okay.
Yeah, so the resale community is really big. I think the sneaker game, if there's like any sneakerheads out there listening, it dropped down a lot because of bots. So it's not as big as it used to be. So I think I just sold it's like an investment for me.
What do you mean bots?
Like when a new sneaker drops, there's only X amount that are available. So that's why people collect them. They're like, I need to get it.
Right.
But people purchase bots that just go on and like buy as many sneakers as they possibly can for them. And then they resell them.
And then they resell them.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So instead of like going to the store and getting them, it kind of dropped down to, if you're lucky, you might get a pair. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I resold a lot. And it's kind of like an investment for me, how people collect baseball cards or things like that. Sneakers have always been my go-to. My brother's a sneakerhead too, but he actually like wears and destroys his. Like he like uses them what they're meant to be for, but I just like to look at them. They're like little art pieces, and it's fun now because a lot of artists collab with Nike or like any brand. But they're just like my little collections that I like looking at.
That's awesome. That's something that you look forward to on every trip. And yeah, that's cool. I've seen pictures of your closet and the boxes, and they're all in fantastic shape. Mm-hmm. Like all of my sneakers. I mean, I've had these for years. I love them, but I was looking at them. I'm like, I can't believe.
They're supposed to look like that though. Maybe a little bit cleaner.
I mean, they're holding up the heel a little bit here, but they could use a once over.
I got you.
Or twice over, something like that. Or maybe it's just time for a new pair. I don't know. Could be that. But you said that before we got started today that you were nervous. You're like, I'm nervous. I feel like it's a job interview. Let's talk about your nerves.
No.
Why are you nervous?
I was bullied a lot growing up, and I was raised bilingual, so I over-enunciate words because I had ESL till 6th grade. I was raised in America, but spoke Polish at home, went to Polish school on the weekends, had ESL in school. So I think just like my speech makes me nervous. And
I can barely understand a word you're saying.
So I over-enunciate everything, and like people are always like, that's not how you say it. And then like moving from the East Coast to here, I had to like drop my accent. And I think I'm just scared of like judgment from people, but
yeah, you're doing videos
you do
all
the
the
most,
time.
yeah.
You're always out in front of people. You're traveling the world teaching. Really, that's on your mind a lot?
It is on my mind a lot, but I will say this. I've done so many positions in this industry, and I've pretty much stuck with mob since we met. And I think it's honestly because this is like a judgment-free zone, and I don't want to use the word like rejects, but like we're just like people, and we're not like, I don't know, I can't find the word. We're just like normal, everyday people. We work behind the chair, or like we have a life. We're not like actors putting on a show. So this is where like found my comfort zone, and you guys just kind of like honed in on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember when we actually met? Like, I don't remember the exact meeting. You do?
I do, and I remember it because Asil was there teaching with you, and I asked if he was assisting the class with me, and he was like, "What?" And then he taught with you, and I looked him up, and I was like, "Oh my God, this guy's like 1 million followers." But it was a small class in New York. I remember you and Jenny came with like backpacks, and you guys were like carrying in chairs.
Oh yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah, it was a really small class in New York.
Is that the one that you assisted? Because but we talked before then, right? We met at Kevin Murphy.
At Kevin Murphy,
okay,
but that was like our first like actual interaction.
Right. Wow. Wow. That's incredible. I remember. Yeah, you're definitely the OG and one of the hardest workers. One of those people that you're willing to put yourself out there for a free opportunity, not knowing what it might turn into, but knowing that you're doing the right thing, or you're going to learn through the process of doing it. And I feel like it's so rare these days because a lot of these new personalities, they feel, I don't know if it's a new generation or if it's a millennial thing or whatever. I don't want to talk bad about any generation, but that I think there's just a lot of entitlement right now. People expect to be paid for things they have no experience with. Everything is, I think, just needs. I don't know. Opportunities. We used to have to work our ass off. Yeah. Work for free, for no, I guess, no guarantee of any opportunities or jobs. We just did it, and you did things for free for a long time before, because I couldn't pay you. I couldn't afford to pay you, and you're just. I was the beginning of Mob, really, and you're just like, hey, can I come assist in it again? Can I do this? And then finally, I was just like, hey, I can pay you now. You want to come and assist a class? You want to teach a class? And here you are, years and years later, several roles later, and you're here in the new Mob studio full time. So cool. Like you were behind the chair full time, and one of your dreams was to get out from behind the chair. Not that you didn't love your clients or doing hair. You do. You just were ready for something different, something new, a way to actually impact the lives of hairdressers instead of clients one at a time. Yeah.
I definitely, that was always my long-term goal, was to eventually step away from behind the chair. And I taught with Kevin Murphy, and that's how I met you. I was only with them for a really, really short amount of time. And I was like, what am I doing styling hair? I'm like, I love color. So then you came along, and my goal was always to step away from behind the chair. I actually cut down my days behind the chair. And it's not because I hate doing hair. It's not because I hate my clients. It takes a huge toll on your body. I calculated this morning, and I've been doing hair for 14 years, from assisting, doing a lot of free opportunities, and all those little free opportunities. Like I did Fashion Week, and I learned, like I made connections through there to do other things, or I traveled with you to London. That was like my first like international trip, and I learned what not to do when booking flights.
Which one was to take WOW Airlines.
WOW Airlines, don't do it.
I've never even heard of the airline.
I don't think they're an airline anymore. Maybe they are, but probably not.
It was WOW.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Like wow. Like wow. I can't believe I booked this flight.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah. Like, did I pay for it? I don't remember.
It took you like 12 weeks to get there by air.
Yeah. Gosh, it was scary.
Chickens in the back, and
the chairs were like foldable chairs drilled into the like not really, but maybe.
But you did that, and you showed up. You got there, and I still remember on the way out of London. I think Jenny and I were traveling after that. I think we were going to Italy after that or something. We were just like, let's make this a European
you guys everywhere. I was like,
vacation, and we started out in teaching a class in London there, and we went to the airport together, you know, and they're flying on this Autobahn or whatever to the airport, and we get to the airport, and it was early, you know, it was most airlines flights that we get to go anywhere, it's like, you know, bright early. Yeah. We had a car, right?
You guys had a car, and I was like, can I come with you, please?
Yeah, you got a ride. And apparently, we found out there's 2 airports in London, and you were at the wrong one.
I sure was. And I had 2 hours to get to the next one, or
and
I was
it wasn't
miss
like
my
right
flight.
around the corner. Like, it was close enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, leaving one airport, going to another airport, there's still a distance in between.
Yeah.
And there's traffic, and I don't know. We're just like, I don't know what. Like, our flight was about to leave, and you had 2 hours to get. You did somehow.
Yeah. I was like, I'll figure it out. My motto in life is, it's fine, I'll figure it out. Because I'm alive, I could figure it out. Worst thing happens is I sleep at the airport, I get money somehow, and get to the next one. But I found a taxi driver, and I was like, please get me to the next airport. I gave him all the cash I had on me up front, and I was like, I really hope this guy's gonna take me to the airport. Got there on time, made my flight, got home. So this is fun because this is like the behind the scenes that people don't see what goes on behind classes. They like think we just like poof, we arrive, and I'm like, there's always a little bit of chaos behind the scenes.
A little?
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Well, you're the world's best traveler.
Thank you.
And I mean, you'll travel anywhere. And one incredible thing about you, I don't know how it's possible, you fall asleep before the plane takes off, almost 99.9% of the time. And your favorite seat in the plane is which one?
I love like the window seat and when they're small. Because I kind of just like curl up like this, and I'm like, night.
Didn't you also say that the middle seat was one of your favorites?
No, definitely not me.
Oh, not middle. Okay,
no, not me.
Okay, yeah, I was like, who would love a middle seat?
That'd be crazy.
But yeah, you have your way of. So you're not fun to travel with.
No, I don't think so.
Because you can't talk to you.
Yeah.
You just go to sleep.
Yeah, I think Amanda sat next to me on a flight, and she was like working, and then she like looked over to me, and I was just knocked out. I've also been like trying to stay up late before a class, and then probably not the best idea, but like staying up late and then waking up early so I can like get a little nap in before I get to my destination, so I can adjust to that time period.
Yeah.
And like, I guess, that time frame, that time period. There are hours.
Right. It's just wild. So let's take it back to hair. When did you get, like, when did this obsession, because you love doing hair, when did the obsession with hair begin? Was it like straight out of the womb kind of thing, or was it it was for you? Yeah.
Super cheesy, straight out of the womb. I've always loved doing hair. I still have my Barbie hair books, which I'm like, these could probably be like, buy me 3 houses in California now because they're in pristine condition. I took care of those things. I used to do my grandpa's hair. He stopped babysitting after that because he would have like that bald spot and sick comb over. And I would just take these little tiny like round brushes and put them in his hair. He would always have to cut them off. But no, I've always loved doing hair. I did everyone's hair in like middle school, high school. I have like a billion photos of my hair throughout the time because I would just go to Sally's and mess with my own hair. But hair is not a career, right? So like air quotes, it's not a career, which it is because like look where it brought me, which is awesome. I went to college for a little bit after high school because I wasn't allowed to go do hair. It's like not a career. Hated it. My mom will probably listen to this, but it's fine. She knows. I went to beauty school secretly at night when I did sign up for my college classes. So I like went to college for a little bit. And then I worked for a little bit. Yeah, and then I went to beauty school, and eventually like I went to beauty school full-time while working full-time in a nursing home. Yeah. Which I absolutely loved. I will say it was one of my favorite jobs. And then got licensed and worked my way up from there. I applied at a very high-end salon because I figured like that's where you learn. So like I figured those people are charging enough money to be able to do these like really awesome looks. So I learned a lot there, and I kind of just like kept working my way up. I worked 7 days a week, 12-hour days. I took any opportunity I could, and it's crazy because like I'm very much an introvert, but this is where I'm comfortable. This is the only thing I understand, and I think imposter syndrome is huge in this industry since the beginning for me too. And I would try to learn everything. Like I would fixate on things. If someone came in and they're like, "Oh, I want braids," I would learn how to do every single braid possible. And then just for that one client, just so I like am ready for the next experience, I guess. And then eventually found my niche, loved educating. I saw there wasn't that much education, right? Like when we kind of first started doing hair. Instagram wasn't big. It was kind of like YouTube hair. And yeah, I just took every opportunity possible. I wanted to help the younger generation so they didn't have to struggle. And just want to keep doing that in life, I guess. So like not so much a classroom teacher setting with like colored pencils and stuff. Maybe one day, but yeah, that's that.
So you secretly went to school.
Yeah.
Didn't go to college.
I went to college for, I think, like 3 semesters.
Okay, so
I
like
hated it.
Yeah. Oh, so you went.
Yeah.
Then how did you break the news to your mom? Hey, by the way, I'm a licensed cosmetologist now.
Yeah, pretty much. So my mom did come with me for like the initial part where like I had to go like sign up and everything because I'm still like younger. I'm under 18.
Sure.
She helped me sign up with that, helped with financial aid and everything. But like I still had to go to college.
balayage. You know, it doesn't matter how you pronounce it. Your clients just want to know that you're good at it because they're paying a lot of money for your service. Sure, you can take a class here and there, search on YouTube, learn a hack here and there on Instagram, but it's never going to be enough because to excel at balayage, you need structured learning with experts that have been where you are and can show you how to reach your goals. Hi, I'm Ryan Whedon, founder of Masters of Balayage and one of the first balayage experts to bring modern balayage to millions. And right now, Masters Academy, the #1 online trainer for balayage artists, is now offering lifetime memberships. That's right, no more monthly payments, no more overdrafts, just a one-time payment and you can get over 100 hours of balayage and blonding tutorials on demand to watch and rewatch on your time. Our new Masters Academy lifetime membership also includes our 3 world-famous certification programs, the Balayage Masters program, the Blonde Masters program, and the Extensions Masters program. Not only do you get to own all 3 of these now, you also get Master Certified. So if you're stuck, lacking that balayage confidence, or just need an awesome excuse to raise your prices, Masters Academy is the answer. And right now, you can save $100 off any lifetime membership. Just go to www.mobmastersacademy.com and use code MYLIFE at checkout to redeem your $100 off promotion. I'm gonna say it again, so go grab a pen and write this down. Go to www.mobmastersacademy.com and use code MYLIFE and redeem your promotion now.
Gotcha.
Like I still had to like get a degree in something as like a backup plan. So I went to school for art therapy, which I really loved. But college sucks because like they don't call your parents to tell you didn't show up, right?
Right.
So like you didn't have to go. And I'm like, I tried really, really, really hard. I got good grades.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, whatever, like I showed up to my tests. But then the last semester I was like, I can't keep writing papers on statistics. Like I want to do color. I want to do hair. We're creatives. Like we want to like get in there and do stuff. So I got good grades, didn't get a degree. So I was like, bye, I'm going to go excel in hair.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get your niche, to actually start making enough money to where you felt like you were onto something?
So I think that it also depends who you surround yourself with and who gives you value. I think that was one of the biggest things. So when I met you and actually moved out to California in 2019 is when you and Jenny were like, you can charge more for what you're doing. Like you deserve it. You like, this is the time to shine. And I think it's honestly when I moved out and started working for you guys. Like, don't talk badly about my old salon, but it was very much
set in old ways.
Yeah, it was like set in old ways. And I also felt bad. I didn't want to charge my clients too much. And I didn't have that encouragement of like, no, you're worth it. Like, you can charge more for this. Like, you deserve it. And so I think I definitely should have been charging a little bit more earlier in my career because I was doing like these huge color corrections that took me 10 hours and charging like, honest, like $90 for the color. And then like...
So you're losing money on a color correction.
Like $70 on a haircut. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you reminded me of something because I remember talking to you about your other salon. And it was a huge salon, if I remember correctly. And because you were trying to better yourself, you were involved in like personal improvement. You're taking classes, you're part of Mob, you're teaching, you're becoming more Instagram famous and getting followers and putting yourself out there. There were a lot of people that hated you.
Yeah, it was bad. I had
Tell
one
me about
girl.
that. And like, if other people are in a situation like this. Like, how did you deal with that? And like you're saying, surround yourself with the right people. Like, what if people are in a situation like that? Like, what do you do?
So not many people know about my move. A lot of people are like, oh, you got lucky because I moved from New Jersey to California. I honestly had like a mental breakdown. And I was like, I'm getting out of here. And I moved to California with $500. I had first month's rent. And I was like, I need to get out of here. I need to figure it out. And so I didn't realize I was being like in an abusive situation until I came to your salon. Everyone was so welcoming, so nice. I wouldn't say abusive situation heavily,
Bullying,
but like
maybe?
bullied. Yeah, not by everyone, but there were certain stylists that if they saw that you were doing better than them, they would kind of like look down on you and like bully you. And that hurt me with the, I guess, imposter syndrome because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Or,
were they older stylists?
Yeah.
They were?
It was a lot of older stylists that would be a little bit bully.
Yeah, that
but
makes
also
sense.
there's like,
just like set in their ways, right? And they see these new stylists come up and on Instagram or wherever, and they're charging more than them, and they have a lot less experience, and they see them moving faster and making their dreams come true while they're stuck, set in their ways, and like, why should they get it, right? It's like, screw them.
Yeah, I was told that I'm ruining my life moving. Balayage isn't a thing. Like when I started becoming a balayage specialist, like it's not a thing. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Like maybe next year won't be a thing, but at least I'm doing it now. I did have one girl that was really nasty to me. But over time, I watched her lose all of her clients, and she actually doesn't work behind the chair anymore because that's just her personality. So I learned I'm like, they're reflecting, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, they're going through something and they're reflecting on me. But I think just surrounding yourself with the right people, it'll help you realize. And like, maybe you'll move and maybe you'll lose a lot of clients and like, maybe you'll be in the red for a little bit. But in the long run, like you can build yourself up, right? And like surround yourself with better people. And then like your mental health will start to get better.
Right.
And I think with bullying too, I've learned a lot that they're reflecting. Those people are just reflecting back on you.
Well, talk about your battle with like the imposter syndrome, and you're an introvert. And it's funny too, because I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
And I think the definition of an introvert is, we can put ourselves out there, but it takes away everything that we have. So like after we're done talking here, I'm probably just gonna be like, go sit in a room by myself and look at the computer screen and just be like shut off for a little bit, so that we can gain that energy back, that fill up our fuel cell. But in order to do charge more, in order to go on stages, you're going to be on the hero stage in front of hundreds of people there. You wanted to do that, and I put myself on a stage years and years ago and continue to as an introvert. For people that are afraid to put themselves out there for fear of rejection or just fear of the F word, failure, what kind of advice can you give to somebody that is kind of locked in themselves and they have these big dreams, but you know that they're not going to be able to realize them unless they actually start to put themselves out there and gain the confidence, gain the belief? What can we tell these, there's a lot of them, a lot of stylists that don't have confidence.
Of course. So it's funny because I'm always like, I'm not confident. And then I do things like this and like work in mob and like teach classes and travel all over and just meet strangers. I think one of the biggest things that helped is actually what Jenny said to me before I moved out. And I just kept saying like, what if this? And it's like something bad. And what if that? What if I fail? And she's like, you keep saying, what if you fail? But what if you fly? Like instead of what if you fall, what if you fly? So just put yourself out there. The worst thing that happens is it doesn't go well. Okay, cool. And then people move on with their lives. And then you kind of learn from the mistake and just do it better next time. So I guess that's my advice is like, stop looking at like the what if, the bad, but like, what about the good part of it? Like, and just start, do something little. Like me doing this is like starting. I've been working like my stage presence in classes and just like working on little things before I actually do something really big. And also it's hard because the internet is bigger than it's ever been. And so if you want to teach a class, I'd say like get together like your local stylists and do something smaller and just record yourself. That's something that Kevin Murphy made us do.
Right.
Is record ourselves doing a script or teaching and then watching it back. So if you learn
a lot from that.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I always like play with my hands. That's something I do. I look at the ground a lot, but just like rewatching yourself, it's cringy, but it'll help a lot. So just like practice and stop looking at the negative, look at the positive, and then you'll go a lot further.
Right. It's about putting ourselves in those, in the growth zone, which is whenever we step outside of our comfort zone, that's where we start to grow. And the more we do that, the bigger our comfort circle grows. Yeah. And suddenly something that used to scare us so much doesn't bother us at all. Like the first time you get in front and do a video, now you don't need any preparation. Like, hey, we're going to shoot a video in 5 minutes.
I'm like, okay.
You ready? You're just like, yeah, let me just like, fix my hair a little bit and I'm ready to go. Whereas your first video, you're like, oh gosh, what do I do? What do I say? And you have to do 25,000 takes before you actually get something that's even remotely usable. Like looking back at old videos that I've done, and I'm sure you as well, you're just like, that is a different person. That is a person that has no idea what they're doing, but you gotta start there.
Yeah. And I think like sometimes putting on your blinders and not comparing yourself to someone else. Like I'm 33, I can't compare myself to someone that's 70 years old and been in the industry for so long and has been doing this forever. Like no one's the same. So like not comparing yourself to another person, maybe taking like tips and pointers from other people, but then applying them in your own way. I think that's a really big thing too, because I would always compare myself to others. I'm like, oh, I'm not as good as them. I'm not good enough. And I'm like, well, I'm literally not them. Like I'm me.
Right.
So I think that definitely helped me a lot.
I think we take it for granted too, a lot of things that we're really good at.
Yeah.
Because we do certain things every single day in our life and our business that we take for granted, thinking everybody else already knows this, or why would I teach somebody this if it doesn't seem like it's a big deal to me? But to somebody else, it could be life-changing. For instance, earlier, we're putting together like this incredible coaching program now for Mob, and I should probably tell you about it soon. I always have these new ideas and things. We already kind of started. We already kind of started it, but we're just. And I was talking to Amanda earlier, and I'm just like, "Hey, Amanda," I'm like, "What am I good at?" and I'm like, "What can I teach people?" I mean, I know I can teach people a lot of things, but I'm like, I think I'm all scatterbrained, and she's like, "Well, obviously you're very good at marketing, modern marketing, and creating Facebook ads and marketing materials and copywriting." And I'm like, oh yeah. She's like, salon owners could use that, stylists could use it to attract new clients, and it's underutilized, and you can start to do it for like $5 a day and to get a new steady stream of clients coming in, calls to action. And that was just like the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I know all kinds about creating a business and marketing and having thriving in a niche business. But I actually just had that moment of kind of, in a way, imposter syndrome. And after 2 decades of doing this, well, even I would say past 2 decades, because I've had businesses before I got into hair. I've been working my whole life in creating things. Even when I was a 9-year-old, collecting golf balls that golfers would hit out of bounds at a golf course, and I'd clean them up, and I'd go back 2 holes later and sell them back to them.
I live right behind a golf course. I'm kind of like, should I do that?
So I've been an entrepreneur in my mind for a very long time, and I have a lot to teach. But even with somebody that has experience and confidence in most things, there are certain things when you're trying something new that's unproven to an extent. You question your own self-worth.
Yeah. And I felt like when I stepped away from behind the chair, I was talking to my boyfriend, I had like a crisis. I'm like, that's my whole identity. And I was like, wait, I'm not just like hair. I was like, there's other things. So I was like, educating is what I'm good at. This is what I like. So, and like with you, I think you're really good at everything. I'm like, whatever you pick, you're like, I'm going to do that. And like, you do it to the most extent you could possibly do something. Like, so you're like, I want to do a course, and we make it like the best course ever.
Awesome.
And so that's what you're good at. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm like,
but you talk to me about football or or who I want to win the World Series. I'm like, when is that? And they're like, oh, it's tomorrow. Oh, yeah, okay.
I could call Rob for that. I'm like, everyone on our team is really, really, really good at something. So it's cool because like you created these like
we all have tunnel vision in our areas of love and expertise. But I think one thing that we've done with the Masters Academy, and we keep making Masters Academy better and better and better, is is what we stand behind now is kind of our tagline is love what you do.
Yeah.
And I think as hairstylists, that's one of the main reasons we're in this business, because we love
100%.
what we do.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think it's because we're artists. In the beginning, like we don't do it for the money. We're like, it's because we love what we do, and then like the money comes.
Then
later.
the money gets in the way.
Yeah, that's
too,
true.
because as we get older and burned out and realize how expensive life is, then we start to lose that passion for loving what we do, which is why it's important that we got to make sure that we stay up to date with our marketing, with charging what we're worth, with the confidence. So that way we can make enough to still love what we do.
And like radiate that energy to like the younger generation too. My nightmare has always been a 9-to-5 job. Like a 9-to-5 where you're sitting in traffic, you have like your cubicle, your lunch is specifically at this time. Like that is my absolute nightmare. Just like the structure to that point where
It's
every day is the
terrible.
same.
I've done that before.
Yeah, so I'm so happy I like chose this path, and I was like, I'm able to be really happy. There's so many people that I went to school with that make over 6 figures, and they have the house and kids and just miserable. They're like, what am I doing with my life?
Because they never get a chance to enjoy it.
Yeah.
They work for the weekends, and when the weekends come around, they drink their faces off to forget the whole week.
Yeah. Like I noticed during the pandemic, like people's personality was drinking, like because they like don't know what else to do, and I'm like, drive around, go travel, like do something, get like a hobby, but like so that was always my nightmare. It was like a 9-to-5. So I'm really happy that I like excelled in this career, and I literally love what I do. Yeah.
So you came up to me recently,
Okay.
and we're going on our fifth hero now, our fifth hero, and it's here local. It's here, San Diego, 10 minutes away, which is going to be fantastic. You've never wanted to be on stage. We've asked you years ago, and
like, "Don't
probably
you
every year
dare."
since.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, no, I'll help out in the back. I'll lead the prep room and do this. I'll assist on stage if I have to. You helped me on stage last year.
Yeah, and I was shaking. I was like,
And you just you were terrified of that. And then this year, you're just like, hey, can I be on stage at Hero? And I'm like, huh?
you're like,
And I'm like, you don't even have to ask. Like, duh, yeah, of course. I'm curious, like, why now? And what's the driving force behind this?
I want to talk to you about that.
Now?
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I think because the opportunity is there.
Yeah.
That's literally the only reason. One, because I'm doing a lot more, like helping out behind the scenes more too. Seeing like last year I did the model room prep and I saw like how beautifully it ran. And so I think I'm just more worried about what's happening on behind the scenes, and I want everything to be beautiful and flow perfectly, but we have such a great team that works behind the scenes, so I can like let go of that control a little bit, but mostly because the opportunity is there. Like how many people are offered a stage? Like very, very, very rare, and I have the opportunity, so why not take it? And if it doesn't go well, then like it'll just be a funny Instagram reel or something, I don't know. But I think it'll go well. I will prep and prepare, and also because Hero isn't really scary. A long time ago, you invited me onto the Brazilian bomb builder stage.
Yeah.
And you're like, do a platinum card. And I was like, okay. And then not knowing what it's like to be on stage. And I didn't finish the platinum card. So she was platinum blonde. And then I went to brown. Because like we had to rinse her out and then put her on another stage. So I think like that scared me so much. And like everyone just,
That was the hair show,
everyone's like this staring at me. And I'm like, so like
I don't
stage,
remember that.
Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah.
But
So that kind of
Hero-
turned you off to wanting to go on stage? Oh, good.
But
So
then
sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That was my own fault too. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, platinum card.
That's
and like you gave me an awesome opportunity.
Yeah.
I just didn't do well in it. It's fine. But coming to Hero and seeing that it's not Fashion Week, it's not a hair show. It's actually so many awesome people. And whenever I talk to people about Hero, I'm like, Masters of Balayage attracts a certain type of person, and everyone wants to uplift each other. We're all like motivating. Happy people, and it's not a hair show. So
right.
There is hair going on, but it's a lot of positive public speaking. Everyone leaves, like people become friends from all over the world.
Right.
So I think because it's such a positive thing, I feel better going on stage.
Yeah, I've heard.
So that's why I was like, let's do it.
Speakers in the past have said it's the most welcoming stage.
Yeah, it's very
they feel
welcoming.
love just walking onto that stage there, and that they're talking to people that are actually receptive to what they're delivering, whether they're talking about personal growth or business or balayage or blonding. It's almost like a conversation in a way with, of course, hundreds of people in the stands, but they're there for a shared life-changing experience.
Yeah. They're there because they want to get better. They're like, they want to have better mental health. And the way I thought about it, I was like, if I trip on stage, instead of people being like, haha, loser, and like take videos, I mean, maybe a little bit, I would do it to myself, but I feel like people would be like, oh my God, is she okay?
Right.
And like more like,
I wouldn't be surprised if somebody from the front row would jump up and be like, hey, can I help you? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's why
Let's test it out.
Yeah.
Trip on the stage.
Me?
Yeah.
Easy. I trip like 8 times here a day, so easily, yeah. I remember last year, Fabian was like, he asked me for pointers. Fabian is our educator from Germany, and he speaks very well.
Right.
But he was nervous because he is bilingual. And I was like, just start speaking in German, it'll be funny. And he was like, no. And I was like, please trust
he's very
me, just
by
do
the
it.
book. Right.
Yeah, and he did it, and the crowd was silent. He was like, I'm just kidding. And he started speaking English, and then and it like broke the ice. And I'm like, perfect. Maybe I'll do that, but in Polish.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Right? I'd love to see that.
Just
as
throw
a
it in there
icebreaker.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's just like everyone was laughing. It was like a good time, and
some dancing.
So that's why I wanted to be on
high
stage.
Energy at times. It's there's people that are crying at times. I mean, yeah.
So that's why I was like, the opportunity's there. Let's do it.
Right. Right.
And I can always back out last minute.
Right.
Just kidding. No, I will never. I won't do it.
I'll always jump in if we need
exactly.
to. If anything ever happens, I'm like, more stage time?
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like, we have such a great team that if anything happens, you guys just jump in and like you fix it on the spot instead of being like, done, you're done, get out. Like, no, we all help each other.
Right. Well, cool. Well, as far as like where you're at in your life and career now, there's a lot of stuff happening in your life, and you're becoming a full-fledged grown-up.
It's weird.
It's great. You were like, I feel like Jenny and I, you were like one of our older kids for a while, you know, just because we're obviously an age difference. You're not that far off from Jenny, but for me, you are. I'm almost 70.
You guys like brought me up though, so like I'll always be like your kid.
Right.
You guys helped me up in the industry. Whenever I needed anything, like you guys are the first ones I called when I broke up with my ex, and I was like 10 minutes after we broke up, I was like, I think I called you first, didn't pick up, then Jenny called me, and I was like, can I come to California? And yeah, sure. And then you called me the next day, you're like, can you be here in 2 weeks? And I was like, give me 2 months on there. So like you guys are actually the first ones that I told. Like,
that's amazing.
Like I always come
and then
to
you started to work
news.
at Salon Spruce, right? Is that when we had Salon Spruce and you just, that's cool.
I showed up and you're like, I'm out. And I was like, cool. Yeah. My only friend here. No, but it was awesome. So
aside from Hero, do you have any other big goals that are in the career I guess realm right now, or is it just kind of like, let's just see what transpires? Because I know we have a lot of things in the works, and there's so many things happening within our company right now that we just, this kind of the sky is the limit. That I don't even know what to expect. Just as far as like specific dreams and whatnot, but like where, like roles. Do you want to take my job one day? Like what do you? Like what's next for you?
I love, to be honest, just like being in the background, but also just making sure everything flows perfectly. It like gives me peace of mind, and I love helping out with new projects. So when you guys asked me to go help out with the color line, I was like, hell yeah, I'll be there. So I'm kind of like a very yes, let's do it kind of person, and just seeing as far as I can go within the company with you guys, but absolutely do not want your job. No offense. Like your job is very stressful.
I wake up some mornings and I don't want my job.
Yeah, very stressful. I'm good where I'm at. I would love to just like stay an educator and just like keep helping people out. Becoming more of like an influencer and like a popularity thing was never, like I never asked for the amount of followers that I have. I actually stopped posting as much because I like built my clientele. I got comfortable in my career, but like not being an influencer, popularity, just like helping people out and just growing the brand as big as it can get. I'm like, let's take Bob International. Let's have a headquarters in Japan. I'll be there. I'm like, maybe not there specifically, but I just love the idea of just helping you guys expand. And I remember
helping us expand.
Yeah, helping the brand expand. They're the company. And I just remember helping you guys out, and like you guys had like a townhouse or like a house, and like we were physically binding the books and the workbooks, and like physically doing
the
each
workbooks,
binding.
Right? Yeah, I had this little binding machine and the bindings and like thousands of bindings and the books. That was exhausting.
And now we're here.
Yeah. That was in the garage.
Yeah.
We were doing it in the garage of an old place.
Packing all the color orders and sending them to each class. I'm like, just helping the company grow and seeing what's next, and just like, let's keep going. Like, guys.
Isn't it nice that we don't have to do the binding anymore?
Yeah, I don't want to do that ever again. I mean, the crunch sound was nice in ASMR, but...
It was good, yeah, but then to line them all up, and if it didn't work, and you ruin a... Yeah, so
as far as like where my career goes, I'm happy it ended behind the chair. My back feels better. I have like normal hours. And I'm like, this is cool. But I think just continuing as an educator and helping create videos and just helping everybody. Does it answer the question? I'm like, that was very
I think so, yeah.
lengthily.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's great. I just nod a lot and be like,
that's my 5-year plan, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, this was an awesome conversation.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was getting really lit up there for a little bit. This was great.
Yeah.
We'll have to do this again, especially if we ever need content and
I'm here.
Schedule a shoot day without any content. That's kind of what happened today. You know, we had our John, our videographer, coming in, and we're like, well, we were going to start shooting our new course.
Yes.
But we hadn't done the legwork yet, and we didn't want to. We don't, like you're saying, we don't half-ass anything. So decided to do another training video, and then supplement it with this, which is long overdue anyway. But this was fun. I had a great time. I know it's going to connect with a lot of people, especially moving across the country with what, $500?
$500.
Yeah, that's scary as
few suitcases, my cat, and my mom bought a ticket like a week or two before because she was like, you can't do this alone. And I was like, I got it. I didn't have it. No. When I showed up in California, I was like, I ruined my life, but then it turned out great.
And here you are. You still are. A lot of people come to California knowing that they're not going to be able to survive here. Just knowing that it's how expensive it is, and knowing that how amazing it is, but it'll be a chapter in their life, but then they're going to move on. You made that determination to come to make it a reality, and you did. So I'm proud of you.
Figure it out. Like, you can figure it out. You just have to try. You just can't be like, everything's handed to me.
Just drop everything and move to California.
Yeah, it's fine. It'll be okay. Call me. I will help you figure it out. Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here today and every day. And gosh, so excited for the future. Hope you guys got a lot out of today's chit chat. Make sure you subscribe, put your comments down wherever you're watching this or listening to this, and there might not be a subscribe or a comment button, but we'd love to hear from you, and guess have a wonderful rest of your day, your morning, or your evening.
Thanks for tuning in to Hair Hero. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a 5-star review. It helps us reach more listeners just like you. And don't forget to screenshot this episode and share it on Instagram, tagging us at Masters of Balayage. We'd love to see your posts and share them. Until next time, remember, be bold, be brave, be you. See you in the next episode.